everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys so much for stopping by for another Tuesday tip video. So my master class for May 2022 has been fun and unique ways that you can give the gift of cash or a gift card. Today, we're going to focus on the kids. I have got a fantastic card. I've got one for the girls and one for the guys. So if you've got younger kids or maybe grandkids that you're looking for a fun way that you could give the gift of cash, you're going to love my secret card today. It's got a little surprise inside. Let me show it to you. So there's a card for the girls, a card for the guys. And this one, it says, no amount of money could ever show how much I love you. And you open it up and look at this little secret flap. And it says, but here's some anyway. And that, of course, is where we can tuck a little cash, because we know the kids love the cash. Happy birthday, a place to write our message. Really fun. Again, like I said, we've got one for the girls as well. Same sentiment. I just use some of the pretty brand new Tahitian tide color. These really are fun to make, so I say we get started. I tend to always create for you the girl card. Today, we're going to create the guy card because I thought this one was so much fun, especially if you've got a nephew, a son, or a grandson who loves baseball. So this paper that we're going to use today, this is from Hey Sports Fan. And I love this one. Of course, we got some great red stripe going here on the other side. So it was perfect. The colors in this card are Night of Navy. So we're going to use Night of Navy as our card base. Guys, I'm actually going to teach you a little trick. I'm going to start with an 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to show you how we can cut this cardstock so that we can create the card with all of its little embellishments. You're going to need some pieces of Very Vanilla to go along with this. This is for the inside of my card, 3 3/4 by 5 inch. And then these are for my sentiments. So this one here is 1 inch by 4 1/4. 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. The last two things you're going to need for your card is a piece of Poppy Parade, 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And then I wanted to add something fun on mine. So I'm going to use this baker's twine. This is from the collection called Fan Baker's Twine. So the colors in this match my designer series paper. I'm going to use this one that had the stripe. I thought it just went really well with my card. First thing I want to do with that Night of Navy cardstock is I'm going to put the 8.5 inches up at the top, and then I want to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 11. So that is my card base. I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to give it a score here in half at 5 1/2. Make sure you're using your scoring blade, not your cutting blade. So there is my card base. Now, with the piece that's left over, I'm actually going to cut this down to 7 inches. So we have a decent amount of scrap that we can use on something else, but I now want to flip this around. I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/2 inches. So again, just one more little piece of scrap, but I have a 3 1/2 by 7. I'm going to score that now in half at 3 1/2, and that's going to be my little secret card inside. While I've got my paper trimmer out, let's go ahead and cut that designer series paper. So I started with a piece that's 6 by 6, so that's great. Easy to do a 6 by 6 that's either half or a quarter of a 12 by 12, or many of our papers come 6 by 6. We're going to start, and we're just going to cut this at 3 inches, so 3 by 6. I'm going to put both of these together, and we're going to cut it down again, making sure those are good and straight, and I'm going to cut that down to 3 inches. So I'm going to have 4 equal pieces, 3 by 3. So you're going to pick your favorite one that's going to go on the inside of the card. So let me set that one off to the side. I've now got 3 pieces left. I'm going to take 2 pieces, so let me move that one. I'm going to take 2 of these, and I'm going to cut them on the diagonal. So you can see I'm just putting the point of my card, or of my designer series paper, forgive me, in the track, and then I'll line up this one right down there in the track. When you have those lined up, you're good to cut. Make sure you're holding it tight so that you get 2 equal cuts. We're going to use that stripe, and of course we'll use the baseball side. Let's repeat that one more time with one more piece of our designer series paper. If you've missed any of the measurements for my card today, not a problem. Just head over to simplysimplestamping.com, or you can look down in that YouTube description for a direct link. There on my website, you're going to find a download for today's video. So you'll have the measurements, the supply list, everything that you need so that you can create this really fun little pocket card. So be sure to head over there. You can order at simplysimplestamping.com as well. I'd love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. But now it's time to put our card together. All right, so I've got several of my pieces here, just making sure we're right where we need to be. We're going to go ahead, you know what, I've got this Poppy Parade right here. Let's go ahead and adhere that onto that 3.5 by 3.5 square. And then on top of that, we're going to take one of our 3 by 3 designer series paper squares. Let's make sure we add that on up, right side up. Don't go upside down. You know, we've all been there. We've all done it, right? So we're going to make sure we got this right side up. All right, now this is my little secret compartment. This is our 3 by 3 envelopes. Guys, you get 40 of these in a package, and they are just the right size to tuck in some cash or a check. Look at that. Fits perfect. Okay, but we want to decorate it, right? That's just a little too boring. Let's take that last piece of our designer series paper. I'm going to open up the flap, and I'm just going to adhere that right here onto the flap of the envelope. So you're going to want to make sure you get adhesive on all 4 sides. I liked my stripes going up and down. So we're going to add that right here. Give that a press. Now, watch what I can do. I'm just going to let the envelope be my guide as I trim this away. Very, very simple to do. I promise you, your scissors just kind of glide right along the edge of the envelope. So it's not even hard fussy cutting, guys. I promise you. And just like that, I've got a pretty little envelope. Okay, we're going to add that right inside of our card. So, of course, it's actually the back or the front of the envelope. And we're going to put that right here. That way we have that pretty little envelope flap that the recipient can easily pull their gift out. Okay, now, since I've got this out, we're going to go ahead. We can add this to the inside of our card as well. And guys, I'm just going to center that up side to side. Up and down is a little bit taller, and that's fine. But I love that when they open the card, there's just like this little bonus going on. All right, so now we're going to adhere our little cut pieces. Now this one has a pattern, so I want to make sure I'm following the pattern. So I've got this and this, all right? So I'm making sure that pattern's going correctly. This one, we're just going to adhere. Actually, I think we're going to adhere it. How about like that? So I think I'll put my red ones down first so that I can get this little image. And it's kind of fun because it almost looks like a little baseball diamond in the middle. So let's go ahead. We'll start. You notice why I always lay it out first, because I want to make sure before I started hearing things down that I know where it's going to go. So we're going to start with these pieces here. I also want to make sure I know what the top of my card, and we can add that there. You guys have heard my trick. I never press anything down until I'm sure I've got everything centered up. And I love this Poppy Parade. The stripe is so striking. Okay, so we've got those. Now you can see we're going to add these right on top. When you lay it on, you just want to make sure that end lines up and that end lines up. You're good to go. We'll do one more, and that one goes right there. Okay, we're looking good, right? We're going to go ahead and take that 3 3/4 by 5. We can add that to the middle. You know what, before I do, I think I'll go ahead and give it a stamp here. I'm going to use a Poppy Parade ink pad. And my sentiment came from a fabulous stamp set called A Grand Kid. This one is a wonderful set. So I'm going to use this Happy Birthday. And there's that no amount of money could ever show how much I love you, but here's some anyway. So everything came from this stamp set. So let's go ahead and wish the birthday boy a happy birthday. Now we can come in and we can say no amount of money could show how much I love you. And I'm going to center that up in this strip. And this little 1/2 inch guy, it's tricky, okay? Not going to lie, it's tricky. So you might want to have a couple pieces in case you need to give it a couple tries. And we're going to say, but here's some anyway. I cannot believe it. I actually stamped it straight. Not, oh, it can be a tough one because you want to get that centered in that little bitty piece. But here's the thing, guys, it's a little 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. So if you have to give it another try, it's all right. Even the pros have to do that. We're going to come in now with the Banners Pick-a-Punch, and we're going to give these a nice little punch with the banner because, you know, it kind of fits this whole baseball theme I got going on here. You're going to slide that in, and you notice it fits right into that groove. I'm going to tell you my other tip. I do like to turn it over and make sure I'm all good and centered before I punch, and I am. So there's a flag on that side. We're going to repeat that on the other side. And guess what? This banner will also take a 1/2 inch piece. There's a slot for a 1/2 inch. Let's slide that one in, flip it over, make sure we're lined up. Perfect. We'll do the other side. Our stamping is done. So we're going to go ahead and add our sentiment here to the inside of our card. You've got to have a place to tell the birthday boy how amazing he is. Now this one that says, but here's some anyway, I'll put a little adhesive on the back. You can put it here on the front, but you know what? I thought it looked kind of nice there on the inside so that when their cash or their check is inside that little envelope, that's where their message is as well. So now to add this one to the front of our card, I'm going to bring in Stampin' Dimensionals. And here's a fun trick. I call these Stampin' Dimensional bones. So when you've used up all of your Stampin' Dimensionals, I cut off these ends. And look at this. I now have big, long strips of Stampin' Dimensionals. And guys, that is perfect for this card. So I'll take this one, and I'm going to take the straight side and put it up at the top, so you won't even see those little raggedy edges. Take this one, we'll put it right down here, peel off the backings, and we can center that up right across the front. Okay, now I'm going to show you a really fun trick that I did here with my baker's twine. So, you know, a bow on a card for a guy, not so cool, but I thought this was really fun. All right, I've cut off 2 pieces. So I have one piece that's 16 inches, and this one I'm going to say is probably maybe about 6. Doesn't matter what size. I'm going to start with that 6-inch piece, and I'm just going to make a loop so that it's ready for me to tie. Let me move this out of my way so you guys can watch me. So here's my fun trick for making this fun. I'm going to call it a bow, but I don't need, it's just a little funky and fun. We're going to put the ends together, okay? Then we're going to fold it in half again and fold it in half again. So you see what we've done? We've just continually folded. And now we'll tuck it into that loop. I'm going to start to kind of close that loop up, but I want to make sure I get this centered. And when I'm good, which I am, give it a good tight pull. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a double knot because I don't want it to give way. So we'll give that a knot. There we go. Now we simply come in with our scissors and we can snip the loops there, snip the loops here, and then these tails, well, let's just line them up, and they're just going to be one more tail to our fun and funky little bow. Now to add that to our card, we're just going to take a mini glue dot. You press the center of your bow onto that mini glue dot, and it's going to go right here. And guys, if you want, you can even unravel these. One of my favorite ways to do that is with the Take Your Pick tool. You can just kind of take it, kind of get that ribbon or get that baker's twine, just get it started, and you can just kind of unravel it a little bit. By the way, you see I'm also holding that center because I don't want to accidentally pull anything out. And by the way, you could do this before you add it to the card. I just thought, I think I want to show you how you can kind of make that baker's twine have a totally different look. I love being able to teach you guys more than just the basics of a card on Tuesday Tips. We got a little tip in there anyway. So whether you want to keep them nice and striped or you want to get a little shreds going on there, you can do that too. So there's our card. There's our surprise inside. Let me go ahead and bring in the one for the girls again. So this one, I just wanted to at least point out what I did here. So instead of cutting this into 4 3x3s, I left one of them and I punched 3 hearts from a 3x6. So I cut it in half. You see, everything here is exactly the same. There's my Tahitian Tide Designer Series paper. And there, I did white instead of, remember on this one, we did the Poppy Parade. Oh, look, I decided to put but here's some anyway, on the outside with another little Tahitian Tide heart. Here we did just a little white baker's twine bow. And I used the painted textures embossing folder on this one, just to give it a little more texture. So there we go. The guys, the girls, you need those cash gifts. You need to give the gift of a check. It's the one thing they love, and we have our little secret surprise going on right there inside our card. I hope you guys enjoyed the card as much as I had fun creating today. If you liked it, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? And if you haven't subscribed, why not click that great big red subscribe button? YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. I'd love to have you join us here on my channel. Have a great day, everybody. I can't wait to stamp with you next time. Bye-bye.